I'm Joanne Welch, the founder of Back to 60 and also the CEDAW People's Tribunal. The way the tribunal came about is a story that I will tell one day, because you will want to tell that story to your children, because the people that I met that brought it about instilled and inspired the CEDAW People's Tribunal. So what we're going to talk about today in a very short video is, do you want to be a warrior or a dinosaur? Okay, so the dinosaurs are the people. There's a cabal of people who, whatever Back to 60 does, they come around us and tell everybody how useless we are. But what that does is that just revs us up and we work harder. So thank you very much, all you people out there that are doing that. And by the way, those people also, some of them, what they do is they say, oh, the judicial review, rubbish, Back to 60, rubbish. Then when we, were in court last, they were claiming the judicial review for themselves as their own success. I mean, the irony is comical if it weren't so serious. And these same people, what they're doing now is saying, why do you want a CEDAW People's Tribunal? Well, let me tell you why you want a CEDAW People's Tribunal. Because women have been discriminated against, and in many, many ways. And 40 years ago, CEDAW was ratified in this country, and that means that the UK is answerable to the CEDAW Committee in Geneva on 17 themes and 4 areas of concern. And one of those areas of concern is, why is there no CEDAW rep, for instance, for 40 years? So let's give you one very simple example. 50s women would never have been discriminated against regards their pensions had CEDAW been transposed into domestic law, because as the bill ping-ponged through Parliament, it would have been reached an impasse, and that they would have to have been answerable to CEDAW requirements. So that's just one example. There are many, many more that I'll leave to the experts to explain to you, because I am not a CEDAW expert. We are absolutely thrilled to have experts operating the CEDAW People's Tribunal: John Cooper QC, Professor Jackie Jones, Hannah Mansour, Dr. Davina Lloyd, Michaela Hawkins, Louise Matthews, Sheila Jones, and one more who will be announced in the fullness of time. Now that's the basic team, and really, they really do need your support. And not only your support, what they need is for you to go around telling everybody how this CEDAW People's Tribunal is literally going to change the women's worlds. I mean, literally, that's what it will do. It's a women's movement, if you like, but the first part of that women's movement will be to deliver the CEDAW People's Tribunal, and that will be headed up by the legal team. As I said, the incredible John Cooper, Professor Jackie Jones, and Hannah Mansour. I mean, really, we need to put our hands together and be grateful for that they've come on board and that they're willing to do this. And the way we're going to help them to do it is via the CEDAW People's Tribunal's crowdfunder. Now, the crowdfunder is nothing whatsoever to do with Back to 60. We will not receive a penny farthing from that crowdfunder. It's the CEDAW People's Tribunal's crowdfunder, and those funds will be used to ensure that the CEDAW People's Tribunal is delivered. The hearings, there'll be independent judges, academics, witnesses, testimonials. I mean, the legal plan is coming together right now. It's so impressive. And I'll leave it to the legal team to tell you all about it, but it will be breaking news. But this is not about stealing their funder. This is about to tell you that they're working so hard behind the scenes to get this done as quickly as possible. So just to recap, it's a CEDAW People's Tribunal, and it will look at discrimination and why, for instance, CEDAW has not been transposed into domestic law over the last 40 years alone. Why are these people in government, in parliament, in leading political parties allowing CEDAW not to be transposed into domestic law? It's a women's Bill of Rights. It solves so many injustices. So we're going to be challenging them about that. What are you doing, and why have you not done what you should have done in the last 40 years? There are particular MPs that have voiced their support, but this isn't about promoting MPs, because what we say is, you know, talk is cheap. We want deeds. We want them to say, welcome, CEDAW People's Tribunal. I'm going to do and say what they're going to do to help the CEDAW People's Tribunal. It's not good enough to carry on talking. The whole arena is stagnated for 40 years. So what we're doing, we're starting a new conversation. And that conversation is about visibility of CEDAW. We need you to get behind the CEDAW People's Tribunal and watch their output and see what they're asking. So RT their tweets, go on their Facebook page, watch their live streams, share their crowdfunder, anything you can do. And as the tribunal develops, they'll be asking you for other forms of support. Mainly it's about visibility for them right now. So anything you can do to share their information and talk to people, send it out on your email, send it everywhere on all your social media, write to your local paper and tell them about it. Ring your local radio station when they're talking about discrimination and tell them about CEDAW People's Tribunal. I mean, you've heard us say all this before about Back to 60, and thanks to you, Back to 60 is where it is right now, which is in a glorious position. But so just to tell you a bit more about the primary goals of the CEDAW People's Tribunal. So it's to deliver the CEDAW People's Tribunal through hearings, and then when the outcomes emerge, to turn them into what the legal team chooses, basically. And so, for instance, transposing it into domestic law and writing up the draft legislation to do that. And the team is well capable of drafting that legislation. And it's a pity that for 40 years it's never been done. So a UK CEDAW rep, I mean, there's lots of talk about, oh yeah, in a couple of years. No, not in a couple of years. Now. It's the 40th, I think it was the end of last year was the 40th anniversary of the ratification of CEDAW. 40 years. Now, come on, warriors, come on. Please don't sit on your hands and wait for everybody else to do the work, because we have to change the conversation, and we need you to change that conversation. We need you to help us change that conversation. Okay, so when somebody says, or, you know, other priorities, let's say, in Parliament, or just say to them, you know, the CPT is the answer to many of those injustices. So if you want to get on a really fabulous learning curve, go over to the CPT Facebook, because they're going to be doing a series of live streams. They're going to explain to you everything there is to know, how you personally will benefit. And I can't tell you how happy we are that this has come about. This is sent an earthquake through Parliament. The feedback we're getting is they're worried, because we're changing the conversation. The CPT is changing the conversation to, oh yeah, you know, one day soon. No, now the CPT will illuminate the inadequacies and call them out. And tribunals can engage authoritatively with any other inquiry, by the way, even if the police, if necessary. So they have judges, independent judges, barristers, academics. They have a whole library of evidence already. I mean, seriously, they'll tell you all about what they're doing in their live streams. So today, what I'm asking you to do, please, is head over there, follow them, encourage other people to follow them, get on their Facebook page, share their crowdfunder, and really give them the applause and encouragement that they are well deserved. Okay, so please leave behind this toxicity that actually is coming from a particular area in this country we've discovered through analytics, and that is quite worrying. But moving on from that, and just to say that women always are worse off in every budget. And just recently the Chancellor said about his lockdown emergency proposals. This is just one example. This is his words. What is clear and is emerging is that sectors and who are most impacted by this lockdown are disproportionately women and those in lower paid sectors who are probably financially less resilient. Now, what we're saying to you, Mr. Sunak, is you've identified that discrimination yourself. What have you done about it? We'd like to know. Because, for instance, 50s women, there's been stories that we're hearing yesterday about a woman who was sacked because she was afraid to go into work because, without getting too personal, she was supposed to be shielding. So she was sacked for that reason. We've put her in touch with the right people, and it will be coming out in the press. That is unacceptable, and that is one example. We have so many examples that I could spend a week on here and tell you about them all, but I'm sure everybody in this arena knows about them because they're probably experiencing them. So let's put a stop. You know, the tribunal, by the way, will be looking at 50s women as part of their remit, the impact of, you know, the state pension age changes on 50s women. But that was just one area that they'll be looking at. They'll tell you about everything they're doing. I'm no CEDAW expert, and I'm not an expert on the tribunal, so you know, you must head over there to hear what the experts have to say. Now, I'm not going to continue speaking here because what I think is important that these messages reach you and you share them for the CEDAW People's Tribunal, and these toxic cabal of people who one day will be exposed, trust me, just to cast them aside, turn the other cheek and carry on being warriors and doing the right things with dignity and grace. Okay, don't let them press your buttons. They're not worthy of your attention. Okay, so be the warriors that we need, that the CPT needs. Be the warriors that Back to 60 needs, and I know we Back to 60 are the best team ever. We are, what we've achieved basically on Fresh Air is incredible, and that's because we've got the best team ever, our Digi team, our experts, our world-class legal team, and out of Back to 60 emerged the CEDAW People's Tribunal, and they have an identity of their own. They are an entity themselves, which they are developing. We are supporting them, and we want you to support them in the way that we are supporting them. Women, girls, now and always deserve the best, and that will be because the CPT will eliminate, now and always, discrimination against women. So thank you for listening. I'm heading off now. And please do as I say. Please don't just watch this video and park it. Please take action. It's really very, very important.